What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about everything wrong with Just Cause 3. Now, I've already done a video covering Just Cause 2 because I think it's one of the best games ever made. Definitely one of the better free roam, open world games to ever come out, and kind of a cult classic. So naturally, when I saw that they were making a third title, I was super excited, and I pre-ordered it. And much to my disappointment, this title really did not live up to the predecessor. So let's look at a few reasons why Just Cause 3 sucks. One of the first things I noticed immediately is there's no map variety in Just Cause 3. Just Cause 2 had multiple environments that you could explore, such as jungles, deserts, large cities, and mountains, and this allowed for a kind of visual diversity in the game that made it interesting to play, and it didn't just feel like you were going to the same location over and over again, and that's unfortunately what you get with 3. When you go and liberate the first village, you've basically liberated all the villages. It seems like every village in the map is basically just made up of the same 5 buildings that are just set up a little differently in whatever level editor they're using. It's extremely disappointing. And then, where there isn't villages, there are just big expanses of fields or the same tree just kind of multiplied over a huge chunk of land. And getting open worlds to feel lived in is something that is very difficult to do. Obviously, games like Grand Theft Auto probably do it the best. However, I even felt like Just Cause 2 had more variety between the structures and the stuff you would see in the game. And while I believe the map in 3 is larger, just because a map is larger doesn't mean it's more interesting. In fact, if anything, it makes it less interesting because there's more just dead, wasted space for you to traverse. Some of the first gameplay they released of Just Cause 3 had Rico taking down a coastal base with these large towers, and I was super excited when I saw this because it looked very fluid and I couldn't wait to see what other, great things they had in store. However, everything you see in that demo, that's basically the pinnacle of the game. Everything they do in that little 5-minute demo is essentially just rinsed and repeated across the rest of the game. Along with the lack of variety in the open world, the next and most glaring flaw that I saw was this game runs horribly on consoles. Obviously, you can get this game to run good on PCs by just throwing a bunch of power at it, but for the Xbox One and to some extent I believe the PS4, this game runs like crap. Whenever lots of explosions happen or multiple NPCs are on screen and stuff's going crazy, the game will slow down to 15 frames a second to the point where it's you're watching it stutter, and it completely just destroys the immersion. It's a dead giveaway that, yep, I'm playing a game here, It pulls you right out of the experience. This is especially troublesome when the whole notion of being able to just unleash havoc and have stuff blowing up left and right is kind of a cornerstone of the game. And this wasn't an issue on Just Cause 2, which ran on an older system, but rarely would it lag the way Just Cause 3 does. This brings me to my next point about the graphics, and that's this game, it doesn't look very good. It almost looks like a last generation game because of how overly saturated and flat the colors are. There are no shadows, and lighting just seems very harsh and direct. This is somewhat of a downgrade even from Just Cause 2, which featured these rich sunsets and decent use of dynamic lighting. Though it wasn't the best, it still looked good, and it was, again, a last generation game. So if it doesn't look as good as its competitors, or even as good as the previous game to an extent, why does it run so poorly on a more powerful system? As someone who is a fan of dice games, you can play Battlefield 1 and there'll be 64 people in the lobby with explosions and crap happening everywhere, and the game will never drop a frame. The developers made a big deal about how improved the story for Just Cause 3 was going to be, but that didn't really come through. If anything, I think they should have taken the corny and just ridiculously stupid story from Just Cause 2 and amplified that kind of B-action movie charm that it had, with its horrible voice acting, stilted lines, and totally non sequitur moments like ninjas popping out during a boss fight. Instead, we just get a kind of bland story with immediately forgettable characters. The always online thing that they included in the game was kind of a half-assed attempt at doing multiplayer, but honestly, what people want in these Just Cause games is co-op. We want to have 5 people in the lobby, you and all your friends doing crazy stuff. This whole just random leaderboard popping in thing, I don't really care about that stuff. The fact that the game always tries to connect online makes loading times longer and makes the menus even laggier when you're trying to just do simple things like open the minimap or order a loadout. So that's not to say that the game is entirely bad. If you've never played a Just Cause title, you're probably gonna like it. And if you play it on a PC with enough power that you can run it flawlessly, I feel like you'll probably have, a fun time dicking around, blowing stuff up, messing with the fun physics and, parachute wingsuit mechanics that Just Cause is known for. And I usually don't like to make rant videos, but I just figured I had to kind of organize my thoughts on this one game. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more gaming or music related content, you can head over to my main channel. Until next time, peace y'all.